it's time for Measure Twice.
Welcome to Measure Twice. I'm Rob Perugini, along with Joel Graber from Graber Custom Remodeling and Chris Kramer from C. Kramer Interiors. This is the show that helps you envision your home's potential, and you're listening to us on man, did you hear that? Michiana's News Talk 95.3 MNC. What happened there? There was like a glitch in the Matrix. I'm not AI, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
I am here. I'm not a pretend person, although it's kind of scary how crazy AI, how real it can be. It was. Don't get me started on that. But I probably should get finished on what I'm supposed to read in the beginning of this show. So we are brought to you in part by Leatherman Supply. Everything, windows, doors, countertops, and doors, with a showroom now in Granger, right next to C. Kramer Interiors. And Hoosier Hardwood Floors, Michiana's trusted and valued experts on hardwood floors. You can visit them at HoosierHardwoodFloors.com or in their showroom. And leave Dino a tip. No, I'm just He doesn't accept tips. Well, I don't know. I can't speak for him. Maybe he does. I don't know. We'll have to get him in here and find out. So I was talking about AI. AI is kind of scary.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's getting really, really, really good.
And quickly.
And yeah. And yeah, we've unleashed the robot.
At mimicking people.
It really is good at it. Now, if
Terminator comes to mind. I don't know.
Yeah. Yep.
Sarah Connor. I don't know. But you can, over time, you can tell you're talking to AI because it gets repetitive. But,
for now.
It's only as good as the information that's put into it.
Right. It learns through trial and error, which was the key to unleashing intelligence. Isn't that funny? Because a computer wouldn't learn before, and now it learns. It's pretty,
so to speak,
right. Well, it's just writing code,
right? Rewriting
it, but it'll blow your mind.
Yeah,
you can conspire.
But you need to be connected with reality.
right, which may or may not ever happen. I don't know. Are there AI houses? I mean, it's a matter of time before something like that happens. Like, you want the window open, like all of a sudden your window's open. Like, I didn't want them open. Yes, you did.
Yeah, exactly.
You're going to stay in your bedroom for a little while. Lock. Oh, no. That's not going to be. I don't think so.
I think they have that in the CCP right now.
Probably do. Or they want it. That's what they're working on. That's why they can't get anywhere. They're like, we got to be able to imprison these people better.
Yeah. It's true. Oh, it's so sad.
It is sad. But AI, until there's AI, they're just going to have to use regular old our intelligence here. So Let's see, they're fortunate or unfortunate.
I will take that over AI.
Yeah, especially in our house.
Yes.
It really does kind of, the modern house. If you can imagine, remember those like videos from the 50s where they'd be like, the house in 1983. And there's flying cars and stuff.
Those are fun, man, to watch.
Our videos of that would be like AI houses that know what time you get home, know if you're going to be late, start the dinner. That's in our mind, right?
That sounds like the Jetsons.
It does sound like, although the Jetsons would just eat jelly beans that are.
They were prescient.
Yeah, that's true too.
They were prescient.
They would what?
That cartoon was prescient. It was like they knew what was coming.
Oh yeah, yeah. I like how everything was like way up in the atmosphere.
Yeah. That's because nothing could grow down. I don't know.
I don't know. It's dark. We can go down a dark.
You could.
Maybe that should be our podcast, Chris. The dark side of the Jetsons.
That's right.
Ooh, sounds super interesting.
Chris can get pretty dark.
He really can.
I can?
Oh yeah. He doesn't even realize it. That's what's scary about it.
It just comes out. It's like it's not
my artificial intelligence. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't want to talk about AI today, but there is a form of AI that we can go into in a garage that might kind of be useful. But we wanted to talk about garages today because it's kind of garage time. Like you drive down, you go into the little cul-de-sac neighborhoods and people are grilling right outside the garage. They're using the garage like a covered deck. When it's kind of like that, right?
Oh yeah.
Nothing wrong with that, right, Joel?
No, I mean, I just spent weeks getting mine right.
Your garage, because you're having a shower in your garage, or is it a
it's our garage and our patio. Yeah,
is your garage You have a garage and a barn.
Yeah.
The barn is, but does the barn have stuff in it, or is it like
The
a party?
barn's storage.
Yeah, it's not a party barn.
No.
Why wouldn't it be?
Chris, have you done a party barn before?
No, but wouldn't it be? I've been in party barns.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
cool.
That's cool. That's down the road. Down the road.
Sounds like you could have a party barn.
I could. Oh, absolutely. That's
Both
the
of
dream.
you.
Parking would be an issue.
Always thinking of the logistics.
Yep. So
Yeah.
dark. Can't be optimistic.
That would be cool. A party barn,
Yeah.
like a pole barn that's got
No, not a pole barn.
no.
No.
Okay, what's going on in there? What do you?
Oh no, it's got to be a wood barn.
Yeah.
It's got to be a real barn.
Mine's a heritage barn.
with beams and posts
Yeah.
and hand hewn, and it's got to be the barn.
You get that.
Wow.
It gives you a vibe.
Yep. A pole barn is steel and
It's more like the
Aluminum.
80s or late 70s, early 80s Studio 54 style,
Yeah.
where you're thinking more like,
rustic barn.
yeah, could have a hoedown,
You
Yeah.
betcha.
but you don't have to. It could be sophisticated too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
you seem they're
could have a cocktail brunch.
exactly.
They're a big wedding venue.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There's a enormous barn in Goshen that does weddings. I don't
Mhm.
can't think of the
There's
name
a
of it.
couple actually.
I'm sure. Though I've been to one gigantic barn, and there's a heritage barn part of it.
What's a
Mhm.
heritage barn? Just mean that it's old.
Old.
It has to have certain aspects like the hand hewn with the post and beam pegs, things like that.
So does it have that mean it has historic designation? Kind of, sort of.
Well, you can get historic designation for that stuff if you want, but no, it's really just for the tax purposes. I can get a reduction in my taxes.
It's also called a
I need
loophole barn.
I need a heritage barn.
It's called a tax shelter.
Yes.
You need a heritage barn. How do you
I
get
wish
one?
I could get a heritage garage.
Wouldn't that be cool? But I think a barn and a garage share. They're related.
There are definitely similarities,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Well, isn't that what a barn is?
Yeah, I guess the
Essentially,
original garage.
It is the OG garage.
Yeah,
I think it's cool that I've been in barns that have like basements.
that's just a
Yeah.
type of barn. That's how mine is.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not.
I
and
know
it's- I'm sorry.
I always found it interesting that when a farm would be established, they built a barn first.
Mm-hmm.
I did not know that.
I did not know that either.
And then they built the house after because you needed the barn for work. That's how
Right. Where and hay barns are different, right? Then you can put hay in a barn, but you shouldn't put tractor equipment in a hay barn, right? Because the hay barn's like open, right?
Oh yeah. 'Cause I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's just a different thing.
Hay in barns scares me because it may as well be gasoline. It's pretty nuts. But back in the day, the you're right. The barn was the center. The barn I'm the most familiar with has like a dairy section where it was like dug out and cool. It's still
Mhm.
cool.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, I don't mean cool like the Fonz. It is
Yeah.
pretty cool, but like temperature wise, still like it could be 90 out, and that
Well,
place
that's
is
why
still
a lot
chilly.
I can't remember the name for the barn, and I'm sure people are yelling at the radio about it. But it's a type of barn that has the lower level, and that was specifically for those purposes because it stays cooler.
Yeah, really.
That's
cool.
how mine is. I have a little milk house that's built onto the barn right beside that, at that lower level.
Right, and that's chilly in there or chilled.
Yeah, it's
Cooler.
always cooler in there.
Yeah, because you have to have it that way. And then there's another barn in Goshen I could think of that was like it was a hog barn, but it was how incredibly stinky would that be? But the
Not as bad as chickens.
chickens are bad too.
Oof.
But you're not going to hang out. I mean, for some reason, you don't want to be where chickens are ever.
No.
But the hogs could stable in the bottom of the barn, and then the top of the barn handled I'd like feed things. It was pretty ingenious for being a 150-year-old barn.
Yeah.
How they mechanically brought feed to the pigs when it was inclement outside. You could see it was like temporary. They could like shovel it in and then it would just fall. It was pretty cool. Very ingenious. And now a party barn. That particular barn is now a party barn. And when the gentleman who I know has the barn said the hardest thing to do was to take the pig out of the barn because they've been there for so many years.
Yeah.
It was like,
They kind of permeate.
a lot of cleaning.
Yeah.
a lot of cleaning. But barns are cool. Not a garage, but like a garage. You know, you
very,
can
very similar.
If you had a heritage barn, could you wire it? Well, when we come back from break, we should probably talk about that just for a second. What can you do? How do you, I don't know. How do you get a heritage barn, like an old barn, and honor its history, but also maybe make it something cool? We'll talk about that when we come back. This is Measure Twice. Welcome back to Measure Twice. I'm Rob Perugini, along with Chris Kramer from C. Kramer Interiors and Joel Graber from Graber Custom Remodeling. This is the show that helps you envision your home's potential, and you're listening to us on Michiana's News Talk 95.3 MNC. We're brought to you in part by Measure Twice. I said Measure
Are we
Twice.
really?
Well, we're now sponsoring ourselves.
No, we're sponsoring ourselves.
And Leatherman Supply is
gotta bet on
also
yourself.
sponsoring us in part. Leatherman Supply is also involved.
Yes.
Just so everybody knows.
Yes, they are.
And what do? Well, they have everything but everything.
Not windows?
What's going on?
Boy.
What's in this coffee
Maybe
this
we
morning?
need AI.
What isn't in this coffee this morning? What am I leaving out? Man. All right. Well, this time without cough syrup. Measure Twice brought to you in part by Leatherman Supply. Everything windows, doors, cabinets, and countertops with the showroom now open in Granger, right next to C. Kramer Interiors and Hoosier Hardwood Floors. Michiana's trusted and valued experts on hardwood floors. You can visit them at HoosierHardwoodFloors.com. We're talking about garages, but we want to get off barns for just a second because we were barn is the
quintessential garage.
Yeah, it is. If you have a heritage barn, can you modernize it at all?
Yeah, absolutely.
What do you have to do? What do you have to think about to do that?
Well, I mean, so what makes it heritage is the structure. It's a shame. I think it's a shame when people cover them in metal.
The outside, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they're all, I mean, it depends on what you're running into, but yeah,
But if you wanted to take the inside and make it kind of not livable.
If you want to finish it, you can run wire, you can insulate, you can run plumbing. But you don't really want to lose the posts and the beams and
you want to see them when you're in there.
You want to be able to see a lot of the structure. So there's ways to save that. To be able to finish in between your beams, or your posts. With roofs, I know Quality Window did it, and we're planning on doing it with ours. You build on top of the roof that's existing, insulate that, and then have a new roof on the top of that, so that you can still see the bottom, the original bottom side of the roof.
Not finishing, but you're covering it, so
right.
You still get the effect on the inside.
Yeah. So there are ways to save the feel and the look, but modernize it.
Right.
And it's worthwhile.
Yeah, because it kind of gives it an extra
you don't
use.
lose the heritage
right.
distinction because of doing that.
And you don't have to do the whole barn if you don't want to, right? You can still keep part of the barn as a whatever you're doing with it, and then I think the barn doors are kind of cool. That's one of the things that I focus on when I see a barn. It's like, what kind of doors? Do they have sliding doors? Do they have the swing out open doors?
Giant swinging doors on mine, which I'm going to have to work on.
Tall?
Very tall.
Wow.
I think you could get a tractor in there.
Wow.
What kind of hinge?
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
They're real heavy. I can't. It's like a gravity hinge, but I can't think of the name. They set in.
Gotcha. So it's not like a hinge you would see on your door in your hallway.
Right.
It's a different concept. Well, because it's got to handle a lot of weight.
Yeah.
And elements.
Yeah.
Yeah. And whatever they're screwed into, you probably have to pay very close attention to make sure that they're not rotting or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what you would do. You'd have to re-beam or something.
Yeah, you have to
that's pretty
make
cool.
sure you're taking care of that stuff.
Barn doors, are they still a craze in houses?
Well,
not a craze necessarily. There's times where they're used because it makes the most sense.
they're probably still out there, but it's
Waning. Because there was a time where everything was a barn door.
It was a definite trend.
It was a definite thing.
Yeah, you're like, and there's a barn door on my sink cabinet. You know, like, like, okay, I get it. That's actually pretty cool because then it doesn't swing out into, you know, but I don't know. It was like every nook and cranny. Hey, my mailbox is a barn door. You know, like, oh, that's interesting. That's pretty cool. But we're talking about like garages, and it's not really like a deck is outdoor living to me.
Yeah,
a garage is like access to the outdoors living. You know, like it's not really, you know, that outdoor inside. You know, but the giant garage door,
right,
can open it up. I think that's what the appeal is because you're kind of in and out. But the first things first, you got to clean that thing out.
Yeah.
But then you got to put all that stuff that you clean out back.
Yeah, you got to organize.
Yeah, and that's when I think about a garage, I'm thinking like, man, organized garage is key.
Oh yeah,
because you can't park on top of your stuff, or you know, like, or if you spend all that time cleaning it and then it just looks, you know, you just put it back where you found it. It's not right. I don't expect that you guys spend a lot of time designing that stuff.
There are companies that do.
There are. You can go online and find all kinds of things. Go ahead.
All kinds of storage units now that they build into your garage.
Yeah, there's some great stuff for getting things off the floor. I mean, even like there's racks that work on a pulley system that you can raise and lower from the ceiling so that you can drive under it.
Does that affect the structure of the garage?
No.
Is there something you need to think about? Like,
oh, you absolutely. I mean, you've got to hit the structure of the garage, and as long as things are tied together appropriately. I mean, you're not going to be loading 4 or 5 ton on that because
that'd be bad.
That'd be bad news. But for storing some basic stuff, like say, you know, things that you would use for traveling, if you have like different, like the bags, the storage bags that go on the roof or whatever, you know, things like that. There are things that you wouldn't use as often, but you still use them periodically, and you want to have access to them.
Right.
That's a perfect spot for it. It's not like that's where you're going to put your golf clubs that you're using 3 times a week, or your sports equipment or whatever like
but
that.
You might put your camping stuff there.
Yeah.
You know, things that you might even put some, you know, like you can even put some tools. I've seen sets where you can just, you know, put tools completely out of the way up. And I don't mean heavy tools, like you're not using a full mechanics kit, but I'm talking like, I saw one where it was shovels. You know, you could take shovels, and basically it was like a platform. Yeah. And it went to about 3.5 feet to the ceiling. So anything that was 2 feet or shorter, you could put in this thing, you know, on it. Mm-hmm. And what I thought was really cool, back in the day when you had the armchair designers doing it, they can rig it. You know, they would put a pulley and a pulley here, and then it was like, it's a lot more sophisticated now. Yeah. It's a lot. The lowering it was, what I'm saying is lowering it seemed like an adventure.
A little dicey.
Well, that could come crashing down. Now I saw that they have like brakes.
Yeah.
Like it's pretty modern,
mm-hmm.
and you can configure that. I think that's smart, right?
Mm-hmm.
As long as it's not in the way of your garage door.
Correct.
Because that's the most important thing in your house.
Maximizing your storage.
Right. And you probably, Chris, you run into maximizing storage daily, you know, very often in your business, but probably not focused on garage. But you can use some of the same concepts that you'd use in a house in your garage, like, right? I mean, cabinets.
Yeah, there's cabinetry. There's, you know, work surfaces. There's all kinds of different things in the garage anymore. Even lighting has changed.
Well, that's what I was gonna go into lighting, because if you're using a pulley system, you have to be mindful of how shadowy you just made your lights. In your mind, what kind of light goes in a garage, Chris?
Anymore with LED, now you can do LED.
Baby. Those
disc lights in your garage, and you can get
a lot of light,
a
which
lot
is
of light
nice.
and a nicer spread, and they're not, you don't have that one single bulb in the middle of your.
I know, or your garage door light.
Yeah. It's the garage door light with two bulbs on either end.
It's like the haunted house light. It's just enough
flickers.
light for the killer.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, now you can get crazy. You can get it can look like an operating room in there.
Yeah.
But you would call that functional light, right?
Oh, definitely. Because if you're going to, you've got anymore epoxy floors with built-in cabinetry, the proper lighting, these become much more sophisticated space than just a place to put your garage
Yeah.
or
Right.
your car.
With LED lights, Joel, is that what kind of? I mean, do you have to be an electrical genius?
I mean, with
to
what
run
they
that
have
stuff?
now, you can just replace what's there. If you need, it depends on what you've got in your garage. Maybe you need another light or two. If you don't know what you're doing, get an electrician to help you out. Get that, but that you're not adding, because they draw so little electric that you can add a couple of lights, and all it is just tying onto the ones that are there.
Yeah, it's not an extra load, right?
Yeah,
you're not crippling
You're not going to have to run another breaker or anything like that.
Right. So you're in the garage world. There's a lot to talk about with lighting. So when we come back, let's finish that topic up, because there's more opportunities for lighting than you think in a garage, not just overhead. When we come back, this is Measure Twice. Welcome back to Measure Twice. I'm Rob Perugini, along with Joel Graber from Graber Customer Modeling and Chris Kramer from C. Kramer Interiors. This is the show that helps you envision your home's potential. And you're listening to us on Machinist News Talk 95.3. We're brought to you in part by Leatherman Supply. Everything windows, doors, cabinets, and countertops, with the showroom now open in Granger, right next to C. Kramer Interiors. And Hoosier Hardwood Floors, Michiana's trusted and valued experts on hardwood floors. You can visit them at HoosierHardwoodFloors.com. We're talking about the garage, and we're not super focused on lighting, but we were talking about it. But you don't have to just light your, like the two lights that go over top. There are creative ways to light a garage. Like if you have a workbench, you can use task lighting.
Absolutely,
right.
some under cabinet there.
Yep, under cabinet lighting.
Right. And I feel like people leave that out. And I feel like even many of the companies that organize garages, very few of them offer that. Like you get to you have to get super high end to start seeing that show up, when it's seems kind of obvious that
Right.
if you have a workbench,
Why not?
yeah. How many times have you seen the clip-on old school college light, clipped onto the thing there with extension cords? I feel like if you can get rid of the extension cords going across your garage, you've created a more elegant environment, safer environment, But I think all that's coming out. We'll see more and more of that.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
Garages are not just a place to park a car anymore. I mean, that's ideally the function of it.
Right.
They're workspaces. They're
Hangout spots too.
Yep, they hang out spots. But I think, the thought of a garage, I would think of this, how the functionality of the garage, just like you would any other room in your house. How do I want my garage? What do I need storage wise? How can I maximize my storage? I mean, there's plumbing going in garages now. Dog washing stations are going in garages.
Wow. Yes. Have you seen them yet?
Yes, I have.
I've been toying with the idea of, because we have plumbing in our garage, and I've been toying with the idea of doing that because our dog is big enough that bathing him in the bathroom is no bueno.
Well, it's bathe him, then wash the entire bathroom.
Yeah, exactly. The whole bathroom's getting a good cleaning.
So are you.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
A dog washing station, that's more than a luxury when you have a big dog.
Yeah.
Even when you have a little dog, though, I'm just surprised there aren't baby washing stations. I'm just surprised.
Call the bathtub.
Call the bathtub, yeah.
It is, but it's same idea. But people will be more likely to spend money on a dog washing station than a baby because they're only in that stage.
Right.
Humans are only in that stage for a few months.
Yes.
And a dog remains in that stage forever. I small dog and large dog bathing stations, I've seen outside. I've never seen one.
Oh, no.
I have seen one inside, haven't I?
Yeah, a garage is a perfect spot for it.
Yeah.
It really is.
And are there ones that are when they're not in use, you can still like be around them, or they need to be? I'm just thinking if you have like a garage and you have a certain amount of space, can you still park a car near it?
Yeah.
And just pull the car out to use it.
It's not like it's taken like a 6x6.
That's where I was going. Yeah.
Right. And if you're, the ones I've seen are in new construction. So they've obviously allotted for that space. I don't know how easy it would be to convert a 2-stall garage with a dog washing. It might be a little tight.
There would be a whole lot of variables that would go into that.
Yeah.
Because I think you don't have to get that complicated. You can just have an open shower with a bench for them to be up on and a place to like tie them off if you need to.
Yeah.
And put soap. It's not very complicated. Other than having plumbing there. I mean, you'd have to have that.
And making sure that it's insulated through the winter enough so your pipes don't burst in the garage.
Oh, right. Right.
But if you have a dog washing station in your garage, you probably have a heated garage.
Yeah.
So
probably do. Yeah, and I've seen garages with spigots in them.
Oh, yeah.
A lot. Mine doesn't, but I've seen that a lot. So that's kind of, to me, that's kind of interesting because I'm like, well, I don't know the purpose of that.
You can hook up a hose and wash out your garage.
Oh, right. You're right. You're right. I had a neighbor that had a 3-car garage and one stall was a car wash. Now, it wasn't like what you're thinking. It didn't have like the brushes that come down.
It was where they could rewash their car.
So it was all like green boarded or what it was like. He could spray it down.
Right,
and he hung because it was open to the other stalls. And he had a giant mesh curtain that he would just pull down when he's washing the car. And that was just enough to like
keep the water.
And I was like, well, why'd you choose mesh? Because wouldn't it get wet? He's like, he chose mesh because he's like, it'll dry in like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And
it's enough that you're not
overspraying your car, the other car.
Yeah.
But that's a really cool idea. But yeah, you're right. That was fully plumbed. He could wash.
Oh, yeah.
He really liked washing his cars though.
Well, it's great for your floors, and especially if it's winter and you get a warm spell and you need to get the
junk out of there.
Out of your car, out of your garage. You just hook up the hose and you're ready to go.
Fun fact, I tried using my blower last week, and that's a bad idea because you're just in a room full of dust at that point.
Well, that's the only way I can do mine.
Do you have to open up all your windows? You have windows?
Can't wash it out.
Do you have windows in your garage?
I do. I have a double door on the one for the lawnmower to go in and out, but I have to open up everything.
Yeah, or else you're just in a room full of dust.
I made the mistake of hosing it out, try to clean it, but the way they built this garage,
it all runs to like one corner.
One center. In the center, I had a lake. No, I had a lake.
Had to squeegee that.
And I was days of trying to get water.
I was going to say, you used a lot of water.
It's everything you use, it just ran. Nothing went out of the garage. It was awful.
That is a really deep hole in the middle of your garage.
No, it just all slopes to this. It's terrible. But anyway, yes, Lake Kramer. I almost had an indoor pool.
Wow. But if you have a certain garage and you're using it, cleaning your garage is super important because if you're using, we use the garage now as the front door. Well, you have street dirt.
Yeah.
There.
Yep. Yeah.
That's not your average dirt.
Right.
That's the dirt from the road.
Yeah.
That's got all kinds of stupid stuff in there. So I'm just saying, at least have a great carpet in front, or one of those mats.
Yeah.
Because you're dragging that in the house.
Yep. Oh yeah.
And I'm not trying to be paranoid about it. You don't have to clean it every day. I'm just saying.
No, but it happens.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially in winter. Oh my god.
Yeah, winter is the worst.
That's why it took me weeks.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I had to. There was a whole lot of organizing anyway. So I'm thinking. I mean, that's the fact that we're talking about this. It's fresh on my mind. Because we have I don't know where we're at time wise, but
we're good.
All right. So we have like a corner that is our sports stuff, and then the mini fridge. I'm going to hang a TV there and a bunch of signs and neon signs and stuff like that. And so it's just kind of, and it's like, because we have 3 stalls and that's the 3rd stall where there's like, that's just where we can hang out.
Yeah.
So then I've been thinking about how I'm going to organize the rest for the work tools and all these other things. I mean, now, fortunately, I also have a barn, so I don't have to have everything in my garage.
Right.
But there are some things that we use all the time that do we really want to have to go to the barn to get it?
Right.
You know, and so we have to figure that stuff out.
But you know what? It's not uncommon to have TVs in garages. And
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
big time.
So not uncommon. Like it's almost common. It's so not uncommon.
Well, that's, you know, because
Especially with the new build.
right, because they're putting their party spaces.
Yeah.
Want to turn a game on a weekend.
Oh, yeah, man.
Well, think about it. If your house is flooded with people because you're having some sort of event, a garage helps alleviate the crowd.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, absolutely.
You know,
I mean, that's hence why I was cleaning my garage, because we're having a baby shower.
oh, that's what. So Chris was right.
Yeah.
You're having a baby shower, and that's the overflow.
I think we're going to host out of there because it's right. Our patio's right there also. And our patio's really nice. So
It's not like at the cigar room they used to call it, where they have a baby shower and like all the guys are over there.
no, this is like an open house thing for everyone.
That's good that you've progressed.
Yeah. I feel like
Sophisticated.
men should have rights too.
Are you involved in the baby shower?
The expectation is that I will be there and be working.
He's cleaning the garage, Chris. He's going to be there.
I might
be
even get
there.
a chance to eat something. I don't know. My wife hasn't told me for sure yet.
Are you in charge of the games?
No.
That's pretty funny.
If I was, we would have a lot of fun. It'd be like the Beer Olympics.
Everything goes back to if you win at beer pong. How is that possible? I don't know.
I never understood that. Like, why would I drink out of a cup that a ball went into that has been on the floor and in a bunch of people's hands? It's disgusting.
I can tell you why. Because you're 21 and you're in college.
You're already drunk.
Yeah.
It's disgusting.
Well, that's not how I've played it.
Well, that's how it's played.
We
know.
could go on and on about the evolution of beer pong.
Beer pong is fun.
Beer pong growing up for me was ping pong with beer in the middle of the table. And then now suddenly it's...
No, I just have a can of beer and just,
I'm just... to him, beer pong is I'm playing
this
ping pong.
guy's not even like...
We need to
counting.
digress. When we come back, we're going to wrap this whole garage thing up. This is Measure Twice. Welcome back to Measure Twice. I'm Rob Perugini, along with Chris Kramer from C. Kramer Interiors and Joel Graber from Graber Custom Remodeling. This is the show. What?
I love the way that my name sounds.
I was like, because I've been screwing stuff up today,
No,
so
no.
I want to make sure I
he was
wasn't
like-
screwing it up. What did I
That sounds
say?
good.
Threw him
That's
off.
Joe
good, yeah.
Smith from
You were finally doing it right, and then I messed you up.
Where was I? Oh, yes. You are listening to us on Michiana's News Talk 95.3 MNC. We are brought to you in part by Measure Twice. I did it. See?
Yes.
By
I'll
Leatherman
take responsibility for
At least
that.
I didn't call you Grohl Jaber.
Yeah.
Leatherman Supply. Everything windows, doors, cabinets, and countertops with the showroom now open in Granger next to C. Kramer Interiors and Hoosier Hardwood Floors, Michiana's trusted and valued experts on hardwood floors. You can visit them at HoosierHardwoodFloors.com. Phew, man. I was getting
hard part.
affirmation and I didn't know how to take it.
I apologize.
That's okay. Don't stop. Now I'm prepared. Now I can figure it out.
You're the man, Rob.
Well, that's what they tell me. We're talking about garages, and we were going on the party aspect of the garage, and off air we were talking about Chris Kramer's beer pong prowess.
Yeah, the exploits.
Yes, but that is something to think about because you had mentioned something in passing a couple segments ago, Chris. Epoxy floors, because the advantage of a garage is spill away.
Yeah.
Yep.
So mine is not epoxied, but it's sealed, which is kind of this. And I mean, I have to seal it periodically. But I for me, because it's really clean and new looking, so I prefer that myself to the epoxy.
What's the difference? I don't know. What's the
clear.
difference?
I mean, it's if you seal it, it's just a clear sealer. It's similar to sealing a deck, where you still it's what was put there, rather than staining it and changing the color. And
what are the benefits? Like, what does the sealant do? What is it?
Well,
I mean, I get it. It seals it, but
yeah,
is there,
it seals it. I mean, so nothing like if you spill, it's an easy cleanup.
And one of the benefits of sealing concrete is salt in the winter will deteriorate your concrete.
Yeah.
So by sealing it, you eliminate that. It's easier to clean it off. I used to seal my driveway.
Yeah. And so, the garage, so I mean, I've got a really old house and it's been added on to 5 times. Well, the garage was the last thing that was added. And so when that was done, they sealed it originally. And so you just keep up with that. It stays really, really nice. And I like the way it looks rather than having, the epoxy's nice, but I don't need it.
Well, the thing with sealing a garage, you're not losing the grit from the concrete either.
Right.
So you need that for slippage. Because if it gets wet and it's perfectly smooth, boom, you're down.
Yeah, if you seal it, you still have the grit.
Yeah, because it just soaks into the pores of. It's not standing on top of the concrete.
Gotcha.
And that's why when you do an epoxy floor, you want something textual in it so that you don't slip.
Most of the time, like when you see those chips that are thrown down, that adds a texture. If you're not doing that, they'll put like a silica sand in it.
Mm-hmm. For grit.
Right. You said chips. What do you mean?
It's like the colored paint chips or whatever they are.
Okay.
And that goes down and then a clear coat over top of that. And I think it looks great.
It does look cool.
It gives your garage a specific feel, right? And so it just depends on what you're looking for in your garage. For me, the sealer is the way to go.
But you might want like a showroom.
Right.
Look.
Or if it's an older garage, there's stains already there. I mean, the epoxy is for sure the way to go.
And it's just the same, and it lasts a long time.
If it is done appropriately, really, if it has to be cleaned appropriately to begin with and treated, otherwise it's not going to.
It's just like if you already, like you in your case, if you clear coated you sealed your floor, that has to be taken off before you can put an epoxy down. Otherwise, it won't adhere.
It seems very hard to take sealant off because it's soaking into your garage.
Yeah, it would. Those things have to be addressed, and so especially with older garages, epoxy is not cheap, but it holds up, and it's worth it. It has a value,
Right,
for sure. But in order to do it right, it's not cheap.
No, but it's also performing a very expensive job.
Yeah, absolutely,
Yes.
absolutely.
I don't know how else to put it. You're parking cars on it.
Yeah,
Well, yeah, and an epoxy floor gives you a more finished look.
yeah.
Right.
And anymore, there's all kinds of different. Now you can do marbleizing.
You can. Yeah, there's any number of things that you can do with your epoxy floor.
No matter what, though, you want grit.
You want the texture, so because it keep. Yeah, you don't want a perfectly smooth floor because you will probably die.
Yeah,
at some point in time.
no, seriously, or
break a hip at the very least.
Yeah.
You will slip and you'll slip.
It does not make the cement softer.
No,
I'm just kidding.
No cushion added there.
No, but it can be really cool looking. You can make it look all different ways. You can go online and see all the different kinds of designs that exist in epoxy.
Oh yeah,
and
there's at least 2 companies in our area that are fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
and you probably want to use a company for epoxy because
I think so. I mean,
it's expensive.
It's just about knowing the process and understanding what needs to be done, especially on the front end, to make sure that it's going to adhere appropriately.
Yeah, because I'm not going to go to the box store and buy a epoxy kit because they do sell them.
Oh yeah,
But if I did it myself, it would be a disaster. I know that for a fact.
Well, you also want to be on your hands and knees cleaning every inch of your flooring when they have a machine that'll probably go in there and clean it a lot faster and better.
They have the machinery, they have the knowledge and the know-how, and
really, that's what you'll be doing. What Joel was saying earlier is you're getting on your hands and knees and taking every scrap of dirt off of that, and then assuring no other dirt is coming.
Or you're running the machines and trying to figure out how to use it right, and
Yeah,
you know,
Yeah, and it's worth paying someone to do it right.
And
Absolutely.
sealing is very similar,
Oh.
probably less risky.
I can do that all day
Yeah.
long.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
easy.
that's a DIY. You can DIY
That's
sealing,
definitely more of a DIY. Yeah,
Yep.
for sure.
but epoxy, you're talking about that's pretty much a
Multi-layered
professional's job.
step.
Yeah.
Yeah, like just like we talk about trim work, you hire somebody to do the trim because it's just cheaper, actually,
Yeah, in the long run.
in the long run. Epoxy's the same thing. Whatever you're going to epoxy. We've talked about epoxying a lot of
Oh, he likes to epoxy. He wants to epoxy everything.
Yeah.
yeah. That's the whole
His-
epoxy.
His laundry room, his basement.
The laundry room idea is not a bad idea, and
No,
the
I think
basement it's not
genius,
a bad idea.
Genius.
But a mud room epoxy. No, Chris is he's so against that.
So highbrow.
It
This guy.
is
Yeah.
so not
gauche.
aesthetically.
What is that, gauche?
It's gauche.
What do you mean? You could go about 3 feet up the wall.
Oh,
Like a wainscot.
Yeah, like a wainscot.
Perfect.
Yes, an epoxy
Really? I mean,
wainscot.
you do it with the marble?
Yeah, you can marble it. Make it look like Chris. He's not turning red, so he's not mad.
No.
no, I'm just appalled.
He's dry heaving a little.
He is dry heaving a little. Can you picture that? Like, what would Chris's impression be if he walked in to your house and you
I
had?
think you turn around and walk right
and
back
you're
out.
like, I'm.
Yeah, see you later.
He's like, 2 things I want to let you know, Joel. 1, I'm appalled and leaving. 2, this is how I know it's your house because you have it.
and 3, we're no longer friends.
Burn my email. Epoxy though is kind of like in your basement. I don't think that's crazy, right?
No, I've seen that been done.
Mm-hmm.
If you get water in your basement and you have epoxy and it's coming through the floor,
You're screwed.
it's not a great thing.
You
it's
have
not
so
gonna
many
stop
other
that.
issues that need to be
I was gonna
addressed.
say
Like,
that. Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
that's. I just wanted to throw that out there. It's not going to seal your basement from
No.
water damage.
No.
Nor will it do your garage. Now you can spill water on top of it and you'll be
Mm-hmm.
it'll be fine. But anything that's coming from underneath of it will not be a good look for your epoxy.
And one thing too is if you're putting cabinetry in your garage, make sure it's suitable for
Yes.
the elements.
What do you mean?
Don't put your kitchen cabinets in the
Yeah.
garage.
What do you mean? Like 30% of America does that.
Yeah.
Why not?
Because with extremes in temperature, they don't hold up.
You get not very long.
Warpage and cracking, and
Yeah.
that's why they make cabinetry specific for the for garages.
Because of the hot, cold,
Mhm.
the elements.
Humidity.
Well, we're out of time, but it was a good show. Enjoy your garage, ladies and gentlemen. It's a fun place
Radiant
to be.
heat. No,
This
Is it really?
Yeah.
Measure
Wow.
Twice.
Podcasts by Federated Media.